Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Las Vegas Casino podcast. Well, last week I started the new inaugural series associated with news linked to Las Vegas and other parts of Nevada. Had a lot of fun doing that, so I thought I would continue it here, this time for the week of October 28th. So, again, in no particular order, these are just news that I find interesting and fascinating throughout Las Vegas or throughout Nevada itself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's start this new video here. And with this first one here, it has to do with the winnings associated with Nevada casinos throughout the month of September. So again, let's go ahead and let's start that off. So again, first bit of news is the big winnings for the month of September for Nevada casinos. Apparently they did pretty well. They posted a $1.3 billion in revenue there in the month of September. And in fact, the Las Vegas Strip, no surprise, ended up getting most of the winnings. In fact, more than half of the state's gaming win happened there on the Strip, about $727.7 million from casinos. And then the rest of the areas, like local casinos, brought in another 155.9 million. So if you were to add that math together, you would realize that the remaining winnings came essentially from the downtown area and maybe some other spots here and there. Surprisingly, though, you would think that this would be a higher turnout from last year, but no, as it turns out, this is 1.8% lower than last year of September 2023. But apparently it was because there was some other factors this year impacting those winnings. For example, there was a long delayed opening of the Fontainebleau there in Las Vegas, and then the closing of the Tropicana, and then also the closing of the Mirage as it moves over to another new hotel being called the Hard Rock, or essentially a reopening of the Hard Rock Casino. And interestingly enough, another major factor had to do with Baccarat. I've never played the game. It's confusing to me. I've seen it online. I watch All Action Casino. They play it there as well. And I'm still confused about how it works out. But in either case, Baccarat is pretty popular. And so apparently Baccarat moved a lot of its winnings or a lot of its play over from the Strip over to the downtown area. And so when that happened, that ended up taking some of the revenue from the Las Vegas Strip itself. Anybody here play Baccarat? I never played it again. Apparently, it's specialized as well. You have to find certain casinos that have it. But either case, that ended up being another factor as to why the Strip ended up having a decrease associated with its revenue. But overall, still, numbers are going up. You definitely see it with the tourism that I see there whenever I travel around. Next bit of news comes from Caesars Entertainment, and this has to do with the Link. Apparently, they announced on Tuesday that they are going to sell the Link Promenade. I had to look up what the Link Promenade was because it didn't come to mind, but it turns out I've actually been there before. I've been there whenever I visited Gordon Ramsay's Fish and Chips a couple of years back, and then I've been there just passing through when I was going from one casino to another. It's an area that's associated with a bunch of small shops and eateries and here and there. It's gotten very, very busy there. If you want to get away from crowds, do not go there at night because you will absolutely be swamped with people there. It's a lot less busier during the day because of the heat. A lot of people will stay out because there's not much cover there. And so when that happens, you'll have less people to mingle with. But definitely at night, it's a big difference. But yeah, apparently the Caesars will sell this Link Promenade $275 million to a company called the TPG Real Estate, and then they'll be able to, I guess, use it to work on other things. I don't know if that location is going to change a lot of its shops or if it's just going to stay the same and then move over as from one tenant's having new owners, basically, kind of like apartment complexes do whenever they sell themselves to other businesses, or if they're going to just create a whole other set of things, like a whole other set of retail space. It's hard to tell, but big set of news, and interesting that I've been there before as well in the past. Next bit of news happens to do with another place I've been at, but not to the specific location in the article. This comes from LasVegasMagazine.com. They did an interview with a guy there by the name of Paul Stelmach, who you're looking at here. And this is the location called the Underground there at the Mob Museum. Now, I've been to the Mob Museum, I think 3 times now. over the past 10 years or so. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. It's a really great place to see a lot of old Las Vegas history, see a lot of fascinating stuff to read, both on the walls and on the displays as well. Lots of interactive stuff too. You can watch documentaries as they play throughout the day, or listen and hear clips, radio clips, and so on. Lots of stuff. In fact, you could easily spend half of your day there as a tourist and then be able to enjoy a good amount of information for a great price there. So I highly recommend it too. Last time I went there, I had the extra bonus of seeing a movie, a premiere of a movie that having to do with Las Vegas, the mafia, and so on. And it was going to be there in the actual location, basically as a premiere, and then later on it would be on Amazon. And I got to see the filmmakers there as well, so that was a nice little bonus treat. One place though I haven't been to is the Underground. It's located there underground, hence the name. It's a throwback associated to the days of Prohibition, whenever you had a lot of drinking places that were hidden from the public but open to those who knew. And obviously, there was a lot of things tied to the mafia during the time of Prohibition. And so when that happened, I guess there at the Mob Museum, they decided to open this location that serves a lot of drinks as well, there at the Mob Museum, called the Underground. But this is the guy, Paul Stelmach. He's the person there that is the mixologist. I guess that's what they call it there. He's the one that comes up with a lot of the classic cocktails and a lot of the bartending and drinks that are there. I think I remember looking at the menu one time. I didn't see too much like in terms of eateries, but definitely a lot of things involving drinking. So if you wanted to experience some old time throwback to the world of the mafia, and at the same time have this guy essentially be able to use his profession to mix up a lot of classic cocktails and other type of drinks, that's it. You'll be able to go there and experience it. I think I remember too seeing that you could buy a ticket there at the Mob Museum to go around the place, like in other words, visit the museum, but also have some kind of amount applied to drinks there at the Underground. Don't 100% quote me on that, but I think I remember seeing that last time I was there as an option. So interesting stuff. Next bit of news comes from this. You're looking actually at a police officer. This was apparently a operation that was done to try to bust people who failed to stop for pedestrians. So that's the bit of news. It looks like the Las Vegas Metro Police are trying to make certain that for this upcoming Halloween, especially those that are in costumes and so on, that may not have high visibility or be able to see their surroundings, they want to be absolutely certain that people are stopping in their cars when it comes to these anybody crossing their streets. They want to make sure that people are safe doing so. Well, the way they did it was this. One of the police officers there, a guy by the name of Keith Habib, he ended up dressing up in this very, very bright colors. And all he did on one Tuesday morning was cross a crosswalk near Charleston and Valley View multiple times. And all it was to see who would stop for him as he was doing that crosswalk. And then if they didn't, and apparently this happened dozens of times, far more times than the officer mentioned should have been. Obviously, he was disappointed seeing how many people were doing this. They failed to stop at the crosswalk, and then immediately once they passed, there were waiting officers there to give them tickets, $250 tickets. Pretty interesting operation, because here you have somebody obviously in this type of costume. It should catch your attention. You should stop. You should stop for any reason whatsoever. But if anything, this should, in a bright costume like this, absolutely make you pause and then do the right thing. But people were still whizzing by, as the article states, and so they were given tickets. And it's all in the hopes to make certain that for this upcoming Halloween, kids trick-or-treating, anybody else in these type of restrictive costumes will feel safe. And then, of course, to encourage people all around to continue to do it even without Halloween. So it makes sense. I wanted to highlight this one because it was fascinating. I hadn't seen this done in the other part of the country. And then the last bit of news comes from theculturetrip.com, and in it they highlighted 34 must-see attractions within Las Vegas. I wanted to showcase this to pick out some of the few that I've seen personally, and then that way you'll be able to see how that rates amongst some of you who have gone to Las Vegas. They highlighted one that was the Fremont Street experience. Absolutely, you can go there to the downtown Las Vegas area and then be able to walk amongst the Fremont Street. Word to the wise, though, it's again a far different experience at night. If you go during the day, a lot less people, especially in the morning. So you'll be able to walk around and then just have it at your leisure. But when you go at night, it's far more packed. Be safe. Have everything together with you. Like if you're carrying a purse, if you're carrying a little mini backpack, make sure they're facing forward. You're holding on to them. Just because the location there can be a little bit dangerous at times. I do read news articles here and there about shopliftings and about thefts and other things happening there at the Fremont Street. So be careful. But otherwise, that location is definitely popular because of the eateries, because of the gambling, because of the shows happening right there on the Fremont Street, both with the bands that play and then also the people that are the performers right then and there as well. Next one was the Stratosphere. I've never been there myself. I've seen it so many times passing by in the distance. I got to go one of these days, but you can go there. You can skydive from the top of the tower. You can go dangle apparently over the edge on something called the Tower on Insanity. I'm guessing that it's another ride of sorts that you can do there as well. And I believe there's a restaurant there at the very top of the Stratosphere. So maybe I got to check it out one of these days. Another one they highlight is the High Roller there at the Link. And so this is one that I've also seen passing by many times, but I've never actually experienced it. I know some people who have. They state that it's pretty like it's pretty like nonchalant, like it moves very, very slow. So when you get in, it takes a while. I think it's like 20 minutes to make a full circle. But once you're in, you have your own little bartender and drinks there as well. So you can order some drinks and then just watch the Las Vegas skyline as it moves from one point to another based on the height of your location there on the High Roller. Not necessarily for me, it's considered more of an observation wheel. I'd much rather just walk around, but that's essentially what this article highlights. One that I did like was the Hoover Dam. This is again a must-see attraction there in Las Vegas / Nevada. Hoover Dam, I've been there I think twice, maybe 3 times, mainly because some tours added it as a special bonus each time. It's interesting to go because you get to see it in perspective, how large it is there. And then you also get to see the famous bathroom ring, as they call it, or bathtub ring that showcases the water, how essentially it's going down and down more there on Hoover Dam. If you want to take the tour too, you'll be able to go towards the very bottom area of Hoover Dam. Word to the wise though, they do give warnings on claustrophobia because you're going to be at a part of the Hoover Dam that is deep underground. So if you do have those kind of claustrophobic feelings, that may not be just for you. Another one they highlighted was the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, free to go to. Lots of tours there, stop by there as well. It's located towards the south side of the strip after the Mandalay Bay and Luxor, like you're heading to the arcade, to the pinball machine place. And so when you go there, you can stop by and then take some pictures. You will have a line there as well, but it's almost like it's self-managed. And it's pretty interesting because you can basically see people cooperating amongst themselves as they line up and then take a shot of the famous sign, and then the next person comes up and so on. Last time I was there, I saw a bride and a groom actually do that as well. It was interesting to see them get photographs right there in front of the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. And then the other one that they mentioned is the Neon Museum, which I have been to as well. I went during the daytime, which is kind of counterproductive, right? It's a Neon Museum. You're supposed to see it at night. But just the way that my trip at the time calculated things, like I was going to see other shows at night, and so I wasn't able to essentially go at any other point, so I went during the day. And so when that happened, I didn't see much of the signs light up, but I did get to see at that time the absolutely amazing Tim Burton experience. A lot of his stuff, a lot of his designs, a lot of his props, a lot of things that he had from movies and signs as well were there at the Neon Museum. I went there specifically to go see the Tim Burton experience, and as a bonus, go see the Neon Museum. So that was interesting stuff. But that's pretty much it. That's all the set of news associated for this week of October 28th. Let me know what you guys and gals think about this series as well. Good metrics, good analytics, as I saw it from the other day. So definitely something that I want to continue. All right, everyone. Thanks again as always. Take care.